During a year of social upheaval, sickness, hatred, and disaster, we found ourselves alone, bored and stuck in front of screens. Young people had to find their voice another way. They had to find a way to stay connected to the issues around them. We want to understand why young people engage in infographic culture and why it's become so popular. Will infographics change the world? So we're here today on sunny, cold Bailroad campus to think about and find out about what people think of infographic culture and how they use them, if they use them, whether they trust them, if they're valid. We are now going off to Alex Square to find out what people think of infographics. So let's go.
Like a little graphic that goes typically on an Instagram story.
It's just for movements that are like quite prevalent at the time, I guess.
They're often in the headlines, and then you get the kind of infographics based on them.
Black Lives Matter, obviously, a lot. Then rape was sexual assault.
Quite often it's, a screen with, a couple of statements on.
I think there's like a correlation between the people I see share them.
Young girls who play netball and tend to be white.
It could be everyone from like your best friend sharing one. I think that's the power of Instagram, is being able to reshare.
One of them starts posting it and then other people repost it.
Sort of like herd mentality if they see it from someone else.
They have the urge to post it as well, like they feel kind of pressured to do it.
I think the one thing with infographics is often, they maybe don't come with a source, or you're kind of worried about authenticity.
I wouldn't post something if I didn't know enough about it.
Or if it's something that concerns me personally.
I'm not too passionate about an issue, I'm not really going to share it.
Sometimes the news always report about things similar to this, so it sometimes gives me the interest.
You have to start somewhere, so it's kind of important to still at least try, I guess.
If someone is creating an infographic that is aesthetically pleasing and eye-catching, it's probably more likely to be shared.
So if there's like a huge article to read, they probably won't read that one, but take a look at the picture.
Through an infographic, you're sharing a set of beliefs.
I'd see like the colourful one. That's the one that you're going to see people sharing.
Whereas the one on the left is more dull.
I feel like people would, be a bit conscious putting something on that looked bland because it would affect the image.
It's got nice colours, it's got nice kind of fonts and graphics.
It's also very simplistic because it's nailing an issue down to a few sentences.
You have to make people look at it first before they actually get involved into the whole topic, so it's probably more important to draw attention first.
I think lockdown has been a time for self-reflection.
In some degree, the panic will make people feel much more lonely.
I feel like people couldn't really have as much change. Things like protests, like in-person things weren't going on as much.
A lot of people were on social media in that time, so they probably thought that this would be the most common place to spread awareness.
You can see it, you can post it, you can reshare it, you can read it within 2 seconds, it catches your eye, and then we can move on to the next thing. We're a very quick generation.
The active precipitation of an open source news media, for us here, infographics, have bred a mixture of scepticism and optimism. Being totally unregulated, plus ça change for social media, begs larger questions around issues such as the upcoming online harms bill in Parliament. With infographics reducing social issues to oversimplified calls of actions with pretty matching colour schemes, it's a poignant time to be witnessing how the youth of today have begun to question the very foundations of perhaps so-called news sources that they actively engaged with during what is now one of, if not the most volatile periods of peacetime in modern history. Did this form of citizen participation in the production of journalism throughout the pandemic really help put issues in a new light by reaching new audiences? Or was it just the eye of a perfect storm to totally skew discourse through an over-aestheticisation of complex issues, leading to a total denuancification, as it were? Infographics may be the start of social change, or the very end of it.